Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Magic Pill Monday. In this series, we're looking at fairly unknown supplements that might have a ton of benefits, or they might not have any benefits at all. They might be a waste of money. And we're going to look at the science behind it and if it's worth experimenting with, or if it's worth using them for certain specific benefits. This week, we're talking about Shilajit. Now, Shilajit is this black thing you see on the right here, and it is basically a resin, a tar-like thick substance that can be found in mountains such as the Himalayas. Now, how does this tar-like substance come about? Basically, over tens of hundreds of years, water is falling down on the mountains from rain. And when it is seeping down these mountains, it collects minerals, it collects plant material, and other things in the water. And eventually it ends up somewhere in the puddle, for example. And there the puddle kind of starts composting and fermenting, and all of the minerals and the compounds and the fermentation that accumulates over all those years eventually ends up in this tar-like black substance that we call Shilajit. Now, Shilajit has actually been used for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years in traditional medicine such as Indian medicine or Chinese traditional medicine. And in Sanskrit, Shilajit is actually also known as the destroyer of weakness. So they really believed that Shilajit could help you become stronger, overcome weakness. Now, what is actually inside Shilajit? Now, first of all, we have something that is called fulvic and humic acid. Now, fulvic and humic acid actually originate from the composting of organic materials such as plant material. Then, of course, there's lots of minerals in Shilajit that were collected from the water, kind of rolling down the mountains. And it's thought that Shilajit maybe contain over 80 different trace minerals. So, of course, we got our well-known minerals such as potassium, magnesium, selenium, and so on. But it also contains unknown minerals or minerals that you might have never heard of that might have actually some specific health benefits. And then, of course, there's also some other stuff in there, such as fatty acids or polyphenols, antioxidants. Now, what does the science say about the benefits of Shilajit? Let's have a look at it. Number one benefit is an increase in testosterone and fertility. There's actually 2 studies have been done on this, and they both show incredible results. In the first study, they used only 100 milligram twice a day, and in the second study, they used a little bit more, 250 milligram twice a day. But in both studies, they saw an increase in serum testosterone, and in the first study, they were also looking at fertility metrics, and they saw an increase in sperm count and sperm motility. So it seems that Shilajit, the fulvic and humic acid, and the trace minerals, and anything else that is in there can have a tremendous effect on your hormones and your fertility. Now, a second benefit that has been researched regarding to Shilajit is skin health. 2 studies have been done on this. One study showed that people taking 250 milligram a day had an upregulation of certain gene expressions, meaning that those genes were more active, and they were more active in producing collagen and elastin, or I don't know how to pronounce that, but basically collagen is a protein that is present in your skin and in your connective tissue, and elastin is that protein or that compound that's responsible for keeping your skin elastic, so to say. It kind of is in the word. So taking Shilajit can actually increase the production of those proteins and therefore, of course, benefit your skin health. Now, another study showed that by taking Shilajit, the blood flow to the skin is actually improved. So this can also help getting the right nutrients to the skin and therefore keep the skin healthy. A third benefit found of Shilajit is an increase in bone health. In this study, people took 500 milligrams a day, quite a big dosage, and they saw an increase in bone mineral density and also a reduction in markers that are related to bone turnover. Basically, markers that if they are high, it means that your bones are degrading very fast. So the lower these markers are, the less fast your bones are degrading. So that is a good thing if you care about bone health. Other interesting things they found is a 30% reduction in an inflammatory marker, C-reactive protein, so lower inflammation, a 60% increase in nitric oxide, and nitric oxide helps with an increase in blood flow, and a 37% increase in glutathione, which is our body's natural strongest antioxidant. So all overall, absolutely great results just from taking 500 milligrams a day of Shilajit. Now, me personally, what I found when taking Shilajit is a large increase in energy. So there's 2 studies that are kind of related to this benefit of Shilajit. In the first study, they were looking at people taking Shilajit and doing exercise, and they were comparing sort of the fatigue people were experiencing after exercise, and they saw that people taking Shilajit had lower fatigue levels compared to people that were not taking Shilajit after exercise. Moreover, they saw less collagen degradation in the people taking Shilajit. So it seems that Shilajit is having a protective effect on collagen. Now, of course, collagen is present in the skin, but collagen is also present in the connective tissue and in the joints. And of course, the joints are often under heavy stress when we're doing exercise. So Shilajit can actually have a protective effect right there. Now, this next study is actually done on rats. So always when we look at animal studies, we have to be critical and think maybe this does not apply to humans. However, when they were studying rats that have chronic fatigue syndrome and they gave them Shilajit, they saw improved mitochondrial health. So the mitochondria in the cells are responsible for the energy creation. And they saw normalized hormone levels. So the rats that are having chronic fatigue syndrome, their hormones are kind of messed up, and that is partially why they are feeling so fatigued. But taking Shilajit was kind of normalizing those hormone levels, improving the mitochondrial health, and as a result, the rats started feeling more energetic again. It kind of was curing or treating or lessening the symptoms of the chronic fatigue syndrome. Now, the final benefit is reduced inflammation and better blood lipids. So in the first study, they were taking 2,000 milligrams a day. So this is quite a lot. Typically, you wouldn't take that much Shilajit. However, what they saw in the blood was that triglycerides were lowered and HDL was increased. Now, this might not say you anything, but triglycerides and HDL are both measures of certain fats that are found in your blood. You might have heard that cholesterol, certain types of cholesterol could be problematic for for example, heart disease? Well, generally speaking, if you lower your triglycerides and you increase your HDL, this is seen as a very positive effect on the fats in your blood, and it's possibly going to decrease your risk of getting heart disease. Now, in the second study, they were also taking 2,000 milligrams a day, and they saw a 52% decrease in C-reactive protein. We saw that earlier in another study, a decrease in C-reactive protein. This is an inflammatory marker, so this means a large reduction in inflammation. And again, we see a reduction in triglycerides, an increase in HDL, and we see also an increase in glutathione, which is the body's natural antioxidant. So overall, incredible results, all positive results. So what are some of the risks and downsides when we take Shilajit? Because surely, of course, it is too good to be true that there is a supplement that has so many benefits and there are no risks or downsides, right? So one of the things you need to be careful of with Shilajit is heavy metal contamination. Because obviously, as I said earlier, Shilajit is found in the mountains and it collects all these minerals from the mountains. But of course, it can also collect minerals such as lead, cadmium, arsenic, mercury, which are heavy metals that can have a negative effect on our health. So it is important that whenever you get a Shilajit supplement, that you know they have been tested for these heavy metals or they have been filtered in some way. Now, the second point that is worth mentioning is that the research might be biased. Now, even though there is a lot of research on Shilajit, as I showed you, it seems that most, if not all of the research has been done by Indian companies or Indian universities or Indian research institutes. And of course, Shilajit is from, originally has been used in Indian traditional medicine. Now, I know personally that the Chinese, for example, they also always speak very highly of their own traditional medicine. And there is, of course, a possibility that there is some bias there in not being too critical of the results when conducting research on these substances. This is a possibility, and I would like to see more research from independent, more neutral parties on Shilajit to really confirm its benefits. And finally, there's not really a standardized product of Shilajit, meaning that whenever someone takes a Shilajit supplement, we do not know the percentage of fulvic and humic acid. We do not know exact the kind of trace mineral distribution that is in there. So the Shilajit that I'm taking might have, 30% of fulvic acid and only so much milligram of these trace minerals. And this Shilajit you are taking might be completely different, might have double the amount of trace minerals or half the amount of fulvic and humic acid. So, of course, that is going to influence the effects it has on our health. So this is also a downside of Shilajit. You never really quite know what is inside, what the composition is, how strong it's going to be. So when it comes to dosage and quality, what we've seen from the research is that a typical dosage that is also going to be affordable is going to be 250 to 500 milligrams a day. Now, you have also seen some studies doing 2,000 milligrams a day, but Shilajit is actually quite an expensive supplement for most people, and most research saw tremendous effects already at 250 to 500 milligrams. So I would personally stick to that. And when it comes to quality, look for companies that are doing third-party testing. Now let me show you some examples of companies that actually do this. So here we have the website of Mountain Drop. Mountain Drop sells Shilajit mostly in the EU. I think you can also order it wherever you are in the world, but of course shipping is going to be more expensive. And they post the laboratory results, pardon me, on their website. So you can just click on it and it will show you that, see, they have been checking it for lead, for cadmium, arsenic, mercury, and all kinds of potential pathogens that could make you sick, to make sure that it's a good product, that is not going to poison you. Moreover, they actually have done an analysis on all the trace minerals that are in there, and the vitamins and some proteins right here. So this is of course really great. This means that you can be sure that at least this product is not going to give you the heavy metal poisoning. Another company that does the same is Mana Minerals from the UK. So they also have in their frequently asked questions, they have some Shilajit lab test. And when you click it, you will also find here a lab test result where they measured again for heavy metals. So this is very important, I think, when you are shopping for Shilajit. Make sure there is some sort of third-party testing and they are actually showing you the results, because of course they could say, hey, we're doing third-party testing, but it might be fake. Now, from personal experience, I actually tried many different kinds of Shilajit. So here are the brands that I have tried, and I have not really discovered any difference between all of them. But for me personally, I really found that Shilajit would increase my energy most of all. So it just makes me less fatigued. It gives me more energy throughout the day, and this has been a great benefit for me. A great alternative to coffee, which really always disturbed my sleep or really gave me that ups and downs in energy. While Shilajit doesn't really do that. It really gives me some sort of sustained energy throughout the day and just causes me to have less fatigue. Now, final verdict, I would give Shilajit a 9 out of 10. I think it has so many different benefits that it's really worth taking, and it has very few downsides if you make sure that you take Shilajit from a company that does the third-party testing. Now, it is not a 10 out of 10 because of the quality of research. So I think the quality of research should improve. And also, I think there should be some sort of standardization for the product, so you know for sure that you're getting a potent product and not a weak product. But overall, I would highly recommend you try out Shilajit once, and let me know if you ever tried Shilajit or if you're going to try it. And if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, tell me in the comments what you thought about it and what other compounds you would like to see me talk about. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.